Hey, what's going on, team? It's Ricky with Technical Solutions. I hope that you guys are all having an amazing day. Today it is Sunday. I'm going to be sharing my screen just so you guys can see exactly what it is that we got going on. So for those that are going to be asking, I am using the TD Ameritrade Thinkorswim platform. This platform that I use is not the only option out there. It's one of many platforms. So again, please understand that simple idea. So we got Ismail sharing that ticker call out format. What's going on, guys? This is pretty much when we go live every single Sunday at 6:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, and we come together as a group and we talk about the top stocks that you guys see value in. So if you guys want to continue to see these Sunday stock talks, I really hope that throughout this video you learn something new, and hopefully we earn your thumbs up. Also, don't forget to stay connected. If you guys haven't joined our free Facebook group, it's just an option. You guys can refresh your screen, and the first link down below will send you on over to our free Facebook group, where we also offer our free Discord chat in the top pinned post. You do have to get accepted. We have a little bit over 283,000 members. And again, that is that first link down below. So I hope that you guys all had an amazing 4th of July. And we have a pretty interesting kind of just market to get right into. I'm not too sure if you guys are paying attention to /NQ or /ES since the futures market has already opened. But we're already making new highs. It looks like the market already is up 1% on the day. So that's good news, right, for overall market conditions. And I'm very excited to follow up with all the craziness that has been going on. So I really do appreciate you guys taking time out of your Sunday to join us. So without further ado, I'm just going to start breaking down the top stocks that you guys see value in. And all I ask you is to post it in the ticker call out format. What's going on, Josh? What's going on, Ismail? What's going on, Braden? What's up? What's up? So I appreciate Mitch, you posting this in the ticker call out format. Michael posting this in the ticker call out format. I'll be sure to break this down. VBIV. So VBIV, here we go. We got 180-day chart going on here. We just hit new highs at $3.50. Looks like it's been making higher highs, higher lows. One of the first things I first want to say is I personally don't like trading lower cap stocks, although that this has been showing signs of a consistent uptrend pattern. I do see why it is that you're paying attention to it. It made new highs. It pulled back. Pullbacks are part of kind of the trend, especially with this thing kind of like making higher highs and higher lows. Now again, patterns tend to repeat themselves. They don't always have to. As of right now, what I'm guessing is you're seeing as an opportunity is it pulled back, so it built a reversal opportunity. Now we need to wait for confirmation for this thing to break above the EMA line, maybe break above $3, and see if we get actual indication of an uptrend. So I appreciate you calling that one out. Definitely something to look forward to, but again, things can get worse before they get better, so it really pays to be patient with these overall reversals. The next one is from Mitch. This is going to be NXPI. So let me just make sure that I add this one to the list. Here we go. I appreciate, again, you posting that one in the ticker call out format. So very similar pattern here where we're making higher highs, higher lows. It recently pulled back to lows of around 106.50. Found a support, pushed up, broke above the EMA line, and now what I'm guessing is you see around 120 to be a potential, new kind of price target, right? So we're right here, right around 113. Upside margin is right around 6% if the trade goes perfectly. Downside is right around 6% if it ends up hitting the same lows that it did before. So as of right now, I don't know if you see the same thing that I do. We are above the EMA line, but it's almost hesitating, right around this EMA line where it looks like we might begin to break below. I think with overall market conditions and how they're trading right now, it wouldn't be much of a surprise if it does have a green day. Just be well aware that, again, it doesn't have to continue this overall uptrend pattern, with the idea in mind that, again, we can definitely pull back, especially if overall markets begin to pull back. But as of right now, again, I don't know if you guys have been paying attention, but we just made new 180-day highs. So /NQ, which is the NASDAQ future, just made new 180-day highs, or really overall highs. You can look at the 5-year chart, and we should be at overall highs, which is pretty crazy, right, to see. So going back to the 180-day chart, it looks like it should be, if market conditions remain where they're at right now, it should be a green start to the morning. We don't know if it's going to continue to remain bullish, but as of right now, it's looking promising. What's going on, Haley? So you got ticker symbol BBB. Is that Bed Baths and Beyond? Let's see. Whoa, what the heck just happened to my list? Dude, let's see. My TOS has been messing up nonstop, so I do apologize for that. Let's see what we got going on. Nope. Let me go ahead and see once again. Good evening, what's going on? Yeah, I'm gonna have to delete these once again. I do apologize. So frustrating. All right. Okay, BBBY. Bed Baths and Beyond, yeah. So we were right. All right, sounds good. So let's see where you have your support is right around $9. Desired resistance, okay, around 13. Entry 11. Okay. Okay, so you're looking more for new highs. One of the things that you need to be made well aware, right, is we have earnings on 7/8. So definitely something that you need to take into consideration is, is earnings going to act as a positive catalyst for Bed Baths and Beyond? As of right now, Bed Baths and Beyond has done an amazing job recovering. It's made new highs, not new highs, but it's had a consistent uptrend pattern where it's very easy to kind of identify the high points, the low points, the high points, the low points. And in my opinion, right now, it would be the high points. I'm not someone that normally likes to trade earnings. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't. I just taking two things into consideration. Right now, we are at overall highs since we've hit overall lows at $3.43. We have not fully recovered, but what I'm saying is as we're approaching earnings, which can act as a positive and negative catalyst, right now we are overbought enough that if things do not report as expected, it wouldn't be much of a surprise if it begins to pull back. So I don't see the upside to really outweigh the downside in that aspect. We're more overbought than we are oversold. I like that you're focusing on something that's consistently uptrending, but with your idea in mind of getting in right around 1148 and hoping that it continues to hit highs of 13, I think that's great. And of course, it can continue to uptrend, but I would rather do my part in waiting for a pullback, getting in for a better deal, and then catching that reversal instead of hoping that things continue to uptrend when it already looks so overbought. Simply my opinion. You can let me know what you think as well. So yeah, let's go ahead and break down a couple more. So we got, all right, so we got SPXL. Here we go. All right. So same idea right on over here. We're looking a little bit more on the overbought side, looking at the RSI, looking at the MACD. We have been showing signs of recovery, and again, you guys can see that this one follows the S&P, right? The S&P 500. You can see that it's approaching that same resistance level based off of current market conditions right now. One of the futures that you could pay attention to, it's /ES, which is the S&P 500 future. So it's good that you're paying attention to SPXL, which again goes up when the overall market goes up. As of right now, yes, market is up almost 1% on /ES. So it makes sense that yes, SPXL is most likely going to open up bullish. I just don't see this to be a huge opportunity because the overall market is much more on the overbought side than it is on the oversold side. So I would just take that into consideration that, of course, direction is key, but also you need to understand when things are so overbought that they're just bound to pull back. So it doesn't mean that it has to pull back on Monday or on Tuesday or on Wednesday, but based off of how the market's been trading, it wouldn't come at much of a surprise because of how overbought the market is that markets pull back all the time. It doesn't mean that it's going to sell off. It doesn't mean that it's going to crash, but a correction, even in a to the small degree is something that is healthy, right? From time to time, just like we saw one happen last week, right? Or it might have been a week and a half ago. So let me know what you guys think about that. But again, just be aware. Nothing wrong with going with the flow, following the trend. So if SPXL continues to go up, yeah, most likely TQQQ will remain bullish as well. But that just means that you should be maybe on high alert for a potential reversal, especially as overall markets are very, very overbought. Just my 2 cents on that. So frosted cornflakes, what's going on? So we got PFE. Let's go ahead and break this down. Here we go. Alrighty. So do you guys mind if you guys do this one with me? So what do you guys think? Is this one a good deal, or is it a little bit more on the overbought side? I think it's very clear to say. I think it's great that you're focusing on something that's bullish, right? It's above the EMA line. It looks like, well, ever since it's had its initial push, it's been holding up here right around what, $35, but we're really struggling to see a resistance or a continuous uptrend. Just my 2 cents, and you guys can agree or disagree with me, right? Of course, fundamentals are the most important, so I'm not even too sure what caused it to shoot up within a very short period of time. All I know is that from when it hit $35, it's been consolidating around this general area, and we're not really making higher highs. And based off of its previous performance and how it was downtrending, it wouldn't be much of a surprise that once it continues to consolidate, and if demand levels again end up shifting, right, that it can begin to correct itself and then continue its downtrend, especially as it was downtrending just a week ago, right? It would be great if this thing can continue to push up and indicate signs of an uptrend, but we don't have any of that confirmation just yet. So I'm going to set my alert for both sides. And when direction becomes a little bit more clear, then I think that we can make a little bit more of a sound decision. But because it pushed up very quickly within a very short period of time, I would view this to be a critical point where we have to wait for, hey, is this going to continue to uptrend, or did it push up quick enough that now it's going to pull back and continue this overall descending pattern? In that case, maybe, again, giving yourself a little bit more time can save you a stop loss, right, on a poor trade. But only time will tell. So let's go ahead and break down Microsoft. Of course, I appreciate you tuning in, and thank you for posting it in the ticker call out format. Really helps me out. So we got Microsoft. Can you guys break this one down for me? What do you guys think about Microsoft? I think you're doing an amazing job focusing on something that's bullish, right? You're doing an amazing job of something that is showing signs of consistent growth. I think that we can all agree. That it's much easier, right? Maybe you're not someone that wants to make a lot of money within a very short period of time. Your risk tolerance doesn't have to be there. I agree, right? We're all wired in different ways, and I think that this is great, right? For if you're someone that really just maybe wants to put your money in something that you don't have to watch every single day, that offers a consistent pattern, I can see Microsoft definitely being something, especially with current conditions, to be something that's very, very attractive. But this is just my opinion, and I think maybe some people might agree with me, is it's overbought. It's great to put your money in something that is showing signs of growth, but as long as you do your part in getting in for a good deal. Looking at where Microsoft is at right now, it just hit 180-day highs. It hit all-time highs, right? So it wouldn't be much of a surprise if it pulls back just like it did last time when it hit highs of 203, and then it does a little correction. Corrections are bound to happen, but what this really allows us, for even our short-term swing traders, is to get in for a better deal to then ride the recovery. Do you know what I mean? So that's all I would say out of all of this, is just do your part in waiting for a better deal with something that is continuously pushing up. Just my 2 cents. So let's go ahead and break down INO. What's going on, Andres? I appreciate you posting that in the ticker call out format. Here we go. Okay, so so first of all, I don't like pharmaceutical companies. I feel like they get easily manipulated. I'm very biased on this. You don't have to agree with me. I'm just sharing my 2 cents and my opinion, as you can do the same. Just as much, these come at a high risk, high reward. If you're someone that sucks at risk management, if you're someone that is just getting started, own it. Like, just know your place. If you're someone that is just getting started, you need to learn how to walk before you run. And maybe trading these high momentum stocks are not going to be the best experience for you. It doesn't mean that it's impossible. Just be real with yourself, right? Like, again, we're all at different levels. So this going from lows of 15 to highs of 35, right back down to lows of 20, shows me that it's extremely volatile, and based off of these shifts, right, of normal volume levels and then huge pushes, to me, it's showing indication of pump and dumps, right? Manipulation. Can you make money doing this within a very short period of time? Of course, just as much money as you can lose. So if you're someone that's focusing on this, hey, how much money can I make? I want you to also take into consideration how much money are you going to lose? Because if you're going to calculate how much money you're going to make, you need to take into consideration how much money you're going to lose. And I want you to weigh out both sides. Is it worth the risk? And this is only something that you can determine. For myself, it's not. I don't like trading high risk, high reward stocks. That is why I don't participate in it. Do I miss out on some plays? Yes, of course. Just like I missed out on huge dumps when it goes from 35 to 20. So do your part in only taking advantage of opportunities that make sense to you, and that the risk tolerance is something that you are conditioned to do. And I hope that that's something that we can all respect from one another. As of right now, it did recently pull back. Direction is unclear, right? We don't know if it's going to continue to downtrend or begin to recover. Only time will tell. Just understand the clear signs of manipulation and obvious hype. It doesn't mean it's impossible to make money. It just means that it comes at a greater form of risk. If you are up for it, that's up to you. I'm no one to tell you that you shouldn't, just like I'm never going to tell you you should. It just, to me, it comes at too great of a risk. So I'm going to move on that one. Let's go ahead and, I like this one. Christian, what's going on, man? So let's go ahead and break down ticker symbol AMD. So I wanted to talk about this one because, again, it brings up that very simple idea of unclear direction. We've been seeing so much consolidation, and this one has been brought up literally almost every single stock talk. So I understood why it was brought up when it was hitting lows of sub 50. But now as we're approaching around 53 to 55, one of the things that I want to ask you is, you want to put your money in something that is showing signs of growth. Right now, AMD is either consolidating or really not showing clear signs of anything. So if your goal is just to make money, then you just need to make sure that you put your money in something that is showing clear signs of growth. It's as simple as that. And as of right now, based off of this recovery, I'm just not getting that from AMD. We just continue to consolidate for the past 3 months around the same general area, and it's literally not doing anything. I mean, it does move from time to time, and if those movements are worth it for you, then all power to you. But as of right now, based off of how it's been trading, it just continues and continues to get rejected right around 53 to 55 and then drops to sub 50. So if that risk to reward ratio is up your alley, then cool. But for myself, and based off of how it's been trading, it wouldn't be much of a surprise if it begins and continues to drop, and just the overall direction is unclear. It's very inconsistent and just continues to consolidate. So there's a series of qualities that I don't find it to be the most attractive, and that's just my opinion, right? So let's go ahead and move on to the next one. So let's see if we can get some good ones. The market is still pushing up. Again, I don't know if you guys are paying attention to this, but /NQ. Market is up 1% on the day. So we got this. So, this is kind of biased because this whole trading day was, I believe, Friday. So from Friday, and the overall market was closed. So I guess that really doesn't count. But we just hit 180-day highs, and this thing is continuing to push. So it's pretty exciting. It looks like it could be a pretty solid green Monday, and we'll see where it goes from there. So here we go. What's going on, Raul? I appreciate you posting that in the ticker call out format. So, alrighty. Very quick breakdown. It's super overbought. Yeah, it's bullish. If you want to continue to do your part in trying to buy the dips off of the EMA line, as that's been a continuous support, great. But as we hit highs of 180-day highs, and when people ask me, hey, do you think I should buy it? I'm just like, dude, if anything goes south, right? It just offers so much downside. you just need to understand when you are kind of like late to the rally. There's nothing wrong with wanting to be a part of these like short-term plays, especially if you still see it continuing to uptrend. Great. I think that, I think that's amazing. But don't be surprised if it pulls back. And I don't want to be a negative Nancy. You guys know I don't care for that, but I want to make you aware of both sides. Yes, I do agree it can continue to uptrend. It's been very bullish, but again, we're deal hunters. I don't know if all of you guys agree with this, but we want to do our parts in getting something for a good deal. And when I see something hit 180-day highs and we're at all-time highs, that just doesn't meet my criteria. Doesn't mean that you shouldn't follow up with it, but maybe set your alerts when you can buy the dip or buy it as it's, again, based off of previous patterns, it bounces off the EMA line, and just doing your part in building yourself a little margin to give yourself a better edge on something that's continuously showing signs of an uptrend. But that's just my 2 cents on that. Let's go ahead and do 2 more breakdowns, because we did 2 more before and then they got erased, but we still did them during the live stream. So I don't want to take too much of your guys' time, especially on this Sunday. So let's see. All right. Let's see, we got work. What's going on, Squid? Oh, whoops. Alrighty. So I see why you bring this one up, especially as it hit overall 180-day highs. It looks like for the past month, things have been pretty unclear, right? This is Slack, and it makes sense that even during the pandemic, Slack Technologies was still doing exceptionally well, if you know anything about Slack, right? It looks like it was making higher highs. It hit an all-time high during its peak to almost highs of $41, right? And then an aggressive pullback due to earnings. And as of right now, we just continue to consolidate right around $30. So based off of what I'm seeing right now is I'm seeing a resistance level right around $34 and a very common support level based off of previous lows right around $30. So I see why you're paying attention to it, because we're approaching previous lows. Margin, it's up to you, right? If it was a perfect trade, that'd be about 13%, but we can never hope for a perfect trade, right? So I would still set my alerts, wait for the break above the EMA line, see if we get proper indication of a reversal. But one of the things that I now want to say is we are now trading below the SMA line. So again, directions can't or sometimes begin to shift, especially when we break below the SMA line, as again, this thing isn't something that has been making higher highs based off of its recent high. If anything, it's making lower highs, which isn't the best sign. So just something to take into consideration, that we don't even have to hit highs of $34. Maybe the next time we push up, we'll only hit highs of 32. So that's also something that you need to take into consideration before trying to buy the dip and hoping that it does exactly what it did last time. But definitely would make sense, especially as it's been a little bit more on the consistent side, something that I would see some people, seeing value and following up with. So let's go ahead and breaking this down. Let's see. We already did AMD, Jared, so I appreciate that suggestion. We already did work as well, Peter, and we actually just did work. So let's see if we have some good ones. So we got DKNG, so that's DraftKings, right? DKNG, that was a pretty popular. Let's check this one out. So hit overall highs at $45. And we got a question about this not that long ago. It's just due to the overall idea that it was a recent IPO, right? It hasn't been trading for very long. And they asked me, Ricky, when is enough patterns to feel comfortable trading something? Well, the whole idea of patterns is to have patterns to trade off of. And if you see no consistency, and if you see no clear direction, or the indicators are just not as accurate, then you don't have any of that. And it doesn't mean that you shouldn't trade it. It just means that it can make it a little bit more difficult. And as of right now, I don't know how to feel about this one. This thing isn't something that is showing signs of continuous growth. If anything, it's, it has been trading, at least for the past week, below the EMA line. It's been making lower lows, lower highs. For maybe the past 4 days, it's been consolidating around the same general support area. So I see why you're paying attention to it, because, hey, it could potentially find a support here. You could see this thing potentially pushing up here. Upside margins a little bit over 25% if it returns to previous highs of, above $40, but it doesn't need to do that, right? It could continue to drop. It can continue to break below the EMA line. So just make sure you take that into consideration, especially as something is so new that overall direction is so unclear. So I'm going to do my part, and I would love to follow up with it. I've heard a lot of great things about DraftKings, but I've also, that doesn't have to correlate on over to its stock itself. So I set my alert for the break below $32. I set my alert for the break above $35.40, and that's really just it. Direction is unclear right now. I have no understanding if this thing is going to continue to downtrend and get rejected by the EMA line or actually begin to indicate signs of a reversal. And what would make sense? For me to put my money in something when direction is unclear, or for me to give something a little bit more time for it to indicate signs of an uptrend and then, again, build some confidence maybe behind that trade itself, right? So let's go ahead, and I'll do one more, and then we can go from there. So Andre, I talked about /ES already because we broke down SPXL. So I already did talk about that. Right now we're at 180-day highs for a lot of this. So just make sure you take that into consideration. So hey Ricky, would you mind doing trend lines that cut into the graphs? I'm trying to understand how people draw their trend lines. Okay, I can do that later on throughout this week. I don't know if you saw my video almost exactly a week ago. I did like a live recording of my SQs and TQs trades. But again, just because I draw trend lines on something doesn't mean that you should. It's just preference. The whole idea of drawing trend lines are for potential support or resistance levels, and you draw those where you personally see value, and it doesn't have to make sense to me as long as it makes sense to you. And again, this isn't something that you're just going to pick up overnight. It's after a matter of time of looking at different patterns and looking at a series of different stocks that things will begin to click over time, right? It's just you need to condition yourself for it. What's going on, Ivan? So ticker symbol Z. Alrighty. So we got Zillow breaking above the EMA line, looking like we might be approaching previous highs right around $65. I don't know if it's going to have the momentum to continue that. What is that? The upside is right around 8%. The downside based off of previous lows is 55%, which is right around 8% as well for a loss. So that's kind of in the middle, and it's up to you if you think that it's going to continue to uptrend based off of current market conditions. It wouldn't be much of a surprise if this thing does continue to uptrend. So yeah, I mean, as long as you do your part in managing your risk and you watch this EMA line closely, as it does a very you can look at the previous times that it trades, but it looks like it respects this EMA line quite nicely, right? When it trades above the EMA line, it acts as a valid support. When it breaks below the EMA line, which is this blue line, it acts as a solid resistance. So some patterns or some stocks work better with certain indicators. It looks like Zillow as of right now really does respect the EMA line when it comes down to these overall reversals. So I see why you're paying attention to it, but also it wouldn't be much of a surprise just based off of how it recently did push up that, it could pull back, and the upside, in my opinion, wouldn't necessarily outweigh the downside on this one. But Zillow has been so consistent that, I can see why you're paying attention to it. So I wanted to talk about, what is it? So we have Tom. We've talked about Jets before. So Jets is the ETF that has to do with the airline industry. So a lot of people, you guys, let's pause for a little bit if that's okay for me to ask. So like for everyone posting their ticker symbols, you guys don't have to right now. I'm not going to be looking at them too much right now. But Jets as of right now is, we've been closely following up with the airline industry, right? And Jets is an ETF that follows major airlines and a series of different airline industries, right? And we know that the airline industry has been one that has had one of the biggest hits throughout this entire pandemic, and it has not recovered. Please understand, I had a comment when I was talking about, I used American Airlines as an example of people were asking me so often, hey, is it time to buy American Airlines? And one of the comments was, the only thing that is the safest investment is putting your money in JETS. Jets is an ETF, and we've said it so many times before, ETFs are not always the best holds. They're not always the best investments or swing trades. And I'm someone that really has a strong focus on trading ETFs. And I'm personally telling you that they do come at a greater form of risk. So just do your part in. I would, if you want to look a little bit more into it on what JETS is, it's a combination of major airlines and major airports and stuff like that. Please do your part in not hoping for a reversal to happen, but actually waiting for indication. There's nothing wrong with, again, following up with something that you see value in, but I think it's very misleading when you enter a trade in hope that it begins to recover. Like when there is no indication of an uptrend or that the airline industry is actually recovering and you're just buying the dip in hope that it does. What makes 10 days, like 10 days ago, why wasn't that a good time to buy? And since then it's dropped 10%. So what makes today different from maybe 10 days from now? It's direction, and we have not shown clear signs of an uptrend. So I just want to do my part in reminding you that it is so important, especially when you're learning how to trade, to really make sure that your best practices and your criteria that you try to implement every single day are actually something or principles or criteria that you can follow years from now. But when you're entering positions in hope of something to happen, I think that hopeful mentality will lead to more red trades, in my experience, than green trades, right? And all it really requires is, if you actually think about it, all this actually requires is giving something more time for the direction to be a little bit more clear. So, hey Ricky, can you briefly explain why you liked the reverse correlation between UGAS and DGAS? Sorry if you already explained this. So first of all, you don't need to donate. I appreciate you asking, especially so kindly. I actually have a video explaining, you can YouTube search it, why I trade UGAS and DGAS all the time. Well, obviously I don't trade it anymore because they've gotten delisted, so I trade SQs and TQs now. But I liked the correlation and how closely they followed the correlating future, which is /NG. I really like it. By being able to focus on direction, I can either trade UGAS, right, if it was bullish, or trade DGAS if natural gas was bearish. And like we've seen so many times before, natural gas was very, very bearish. So it made it very easy, nothing's easy, but it made it easier to trade something consistently because natural gas was so bearish that it was so much easier to make money off of DGAS. Do you get what I mean? Obviously, everything comes with its own obstacles and own challenges, but that's what I really found very attractive about it. So I hope that answers your question. We have a lot of questions about Nikola as well. One of the things that I wanted to say is, last week I made a video about Nikola, and I don't know if I actually made the video when it was trading at like $68, and now ever since then it's dropped almost 18%. And one of the things that I want to say is it's still within range, right? It's done this before and it's picked up and all that crazy stuff. The whole idea that I wanted to share with you guys is from July 3rd, so as of tomorrow, there are a series of shares that are going to become exercisable, meaning that people will be able to sell, according to this S1 filing, about 50 million shares. It doesn't mean that they have to sell tomorrow. It doesn't mean that they have to sell this week. It just means that they have the option to. If you got in at $10 and you can exit now, would you be someone that would do it, especially with something that has presented what Nikola has? There's so many mixed opinions about Nikola. The last thing that I want to do is, I think that we can all agree. I want to end this on a positive note. I don't care to end this bashing a company that is trying to do well. I think that we can all agree that if Tesla had a direct competitor, competition instills creativity. I think that we can all agree on that. I just think that it's so mind-boggling that a company like Nikola is valued at, or has a market cap of over $20 billion, nearly Ford's market cap, and all it has is renders. That's the only point that I was trying to make, is like Nikola is super hyped up. I had nothing against the company. If anything, the company is based here in Arizona. I think it would be amazing for it to perform well. I think that we can all agree on that. But I think a lot of people are rubbed the wrong way when their CEO and all their articles are focused on all these like glorified promises, but all they present to us are a series of renders. Do you guys get what I mean? And I think with that in mind and the series of warrants that are going to become exercisable, it's just kind of like back and forth, right? I just didn't know which way to kind of go with Nikola, because I think it's great that it's a company that has inspired so many people, right, to hopefully come out with these hydrogen vehicles. But I don't know. It's just it seemed kind of like too good to be true. Who's Danny? A lot of people are telling Danny to shut up. Let's see. What's Danny posting? Is he the one that keeps posting? Oh, Volvo. Oh, come on, dude. You're not even posting it in the ticker call out format. So there's no reason to tell anyone to, yeah. So I won't break. So just a heads up, if all you're doing is posting the ticker symbol, I won't break it down for you. It's made very clear that if you want me to ever break it down for you, we ask you to post this in the ticker call out format, and that's for your own good. I want to make sure that every single time that you ask for my opinion on something, that you've dedicated time to mold your own. Do you get what I mean? And it's for your own good. We're never here to tell you what to do. We're here to share open opinions, but to make sure that you have your own opinion formed. I'm not here to trump your opinion, and that's what we want to avoid. So again, I don't want to take too much of your guys' time. It's Sunday. I'm excited. I don't know. I want to get a show of hands. How many of you guys now look forward to Mondays? I don't know if it's just me or, I know a lot of people that have just gotten started trading, and all I've been getting on Discord are just the number of people that are like, I look forward to Mondays more now than I ever have before. And I think that's always the goal, right? It's to have excitement for what it is that you do. It doesn't mean that when you're just getting started that you're going to make a ton of money. Let's be honest, the stock market is challenging. It's very difficult to be consistently successful in this market, but difficult doesn't mean impossible, right? And I think it's just because it's so challenging and you begin to surround yourself with people that are so motivated that it just like really gets you going to want to, push through the weekend and just wait for market open. So I'm excited to trade live with you guys on Monday. I'm excited to see how the market opens. And as of right now, again, /NQ/ES, overall markets as of right now are very much in the green. So it looks like for my focus, it's TQs, right? It looks like it's going to be a green day for overall market. So it's going to be in my best interest as of right now to maybe pay attention to TQs. So I really do appreciate your guys' time. Thank you guys again for everything it is that you guys do. I would love to stay connected, of course, only if it's something that you guys see value in. So you guys can refresh your screen. And if you guys want to join our free Facebook group, again, we offer our free Discord chat. It's all inclusive here. It's the first link down below, and we have a little bit over 283,000 members. So we'd love to stay connected, of course, only if you want to. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. You guys can turn on your post notifications so YouTube alerts you when it is that I go live. And for all those that want to tune on in to tomorrow's live trading session, that's just for those that are ready to join the Learn Plan Profit team. You guys don't have to, but it should be made very, very clear that I only work with one group, and it's the Learn Plan Profit group. There's so many fake, like Instagram accounts and YouTube accounts and Facebook accounts of people pretending to be me. I want to make it super clear. I only offer one thing, and it's Learn Plan Profit. If you want to join, great. If you want to watch me trade live every single day, great. If you don't want to, that's fine, right? I upload on YouTube every single day. So you have my free content on YouTube, or if you would like to work with me and watch me trade live, then we offer Learn Plan Profit only for those that want it. You guys can refresh your screen, click the second link down below. I'm not too sure if it's the second or third link. It says Learn Plan Profit, and there's a video that will explain to you everything that's included, just so there's no surprises. So if you like my content on YouTube, I can almost guarantee you that you'll like the course. If you don't like my content on YouTube, then guess what? The course probably isn't for you. You guys could even direct message me on Discord. And if you're like, hey, Ricky, can I just get a taste of what it's like to watch you trade live? And I'll send you one of our live trading videos. So before you sign up, you can kind of get a better feel of what to expect. We are not offering any discounts, nothing like that. And yeah, it's if you want to join our team, great. If you don't, I respect that as well. And I hope that our videos on YouTube can just continue to empower you and motivate you. And we offer our free Facebook group. So I really do appreciate you guys' time. I really hope that we earned your thumbs up. Of course, only if you learned something new. And you guys are cracking me up. I don't know why. Do you guys like my day trader shirt? I don't know if you guys. What do you guys think about it? Not bad, right? So I'm excited for Market Open tomorrow. We'll see you guys tomorrow at Market Open. And like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take it easy, team.